Hey cosmic friends, I'm here to deliver the scoop for the next cycle, as well as talk about the themes of Virgo and Pisces, which is an axis that all of us are getting activated right now. We'll get into the Virgo Solar Eclipse happening now, as well as the Fall Equinox happening around the same time. It is a pop-in time in the sky, so let's get it. Not sure why the audio cut out there, but it's either I burn this whole thing down or y'all get a video. So here we are. And just so you know what's really going on here, that's the background. Okay, here is our happy little chart. Not maybe the most happy since it's an eclipse opposite Saturn, but we're gonna do our best here. We're gonna have a good next cycle. Eclipses, specifically the solar eclipses, which is like a new moon, is predictive of the following 6 months. So that's what we're covering. And based on this chart, I'm thinking the next 6 months are probably gonna be uncomfortable in whatever way is needed for us to change, shift, upgrade, evolve. I think we're going to be having important conversations in our relationships that aren't comfy. We'll have decisions and choice points coming up. We'll be saying bye to certain things that no longer serve us, which can be very unpleasant, at least in the act of letting go. And we'll be wrapping up a lot coming up. I'm getting all of this from this chart and also where the nodes currently are. The lunar nodes, which are what create the capacity for us to have eclipses, are in the sign of Pisces, the north node, and Virgo is where the south node is. The north node represents where the energy is going, where there's growth and expansion happening. The south node is the release point, the letting go, what's sloughing off as we're moving through life. So the north node in Pisces is interesting because Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. So that's the end point. That's the ultimate letting go point. So since that's where the north node is, there's more of this energy coming in. There's more opportunities and chances for us to let go, to surrender, to give it to God. North Node in Pisces is really asking us to have faith, trust, and float a little bit. Pisces is a water sign. It's a very expansive water sign, and it's ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and opportunity. So if there's ever a time in life to lean into letting go a little bit and trusting the process and floating, a north node in Pisces will be that time. In contrast to exactly what I'm saying, at the same time, Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn does not float. Saturn represents lead in terms of a mineral. Each planet has a connected mineral. Saturn is lead. So just that imagery in itself is showing a little bit of the challenge in this next chapter. This eclipse opposite Saturn is really creating an interesting situation. We're being asked to surrender, to let go, to let God. Yet at the same time, we have to keep a certain level of responsibility and composure and put in some hard work. Saturn is the representative of hard work that leads to reward, but definitely the process of challenges and hard work and overcoming those obstacles and challenges. So don't think you can just pillow princess your way through this surrender and this letting go, because that's not what this is about. This is about us putting in the work in order to be connected to a great spirit, to be connected to rewards coming into our life, to be aligned, to be devoted and showing up. Back to the Virgo side of the story, since this is where the South Node is, which is that letting go point, typically, a lot of what we're releasing is Virgo themes. So Virgo is all about controlling your reality. You're sorting everything, you're making things happen. Virgo's a very busy sign. It's earth sign, so it's very connected to the physical, tangible world. And some Virgo themes that we may actually find maladaptive at this point in our lives, we're being asked to let go of them. So one of those themes, perfectionism. Virgo wants everything to be perfect. It's honestly what makes some really amazing, great Virgos that exist in history, because they are so meticulous and oriented towards perfection. So on one hand, this is a beautiful thing to be oriented towards. And on the other hand, like I said, it can be maladaptive. So there might be places in your life where perfectionism is really, really getting in the way. Like really getting in the way of you moving towards what you're here to do. Maybe getting in the way of moving towards what you want and like what you actually want to call into your life. This time period is allowing us to confront this and choose another path. I think a lot that's going to come up for a lot of people too is things regarding our health. And there's a path we can take where we're super duper meticulous and paying attention to every detail and hyper fixating perhaps on different things about our health. And this time frame that we're in is going to give us the chance to choose a new way of going about it. So maybe in the past you were up at night because your anxiety about what was going on with your health or what you're doing wrong or right about your health is just like eating you alive. At this juncture, maybe you're going to choose, I don't know, health practices where you're meditating and you're relaxing your nervous system and you're connecting to God or whatever spirit and place puts you in a place of peace and connectedness. Virgo is also about service. Another theme that could be coming up is where you're being of service in a way that's actually maladaptive. It's not serving the greater purpose, the greater whole. It may feel like it's like you're doing so much and being of service, but maybe that's not the best way. Maybe there's another way. Maybe you're doing a little too much, honey. You need to dial it back. Let go and let God. Perhaps you've been working harder and not smarter, and there's a way to create more ease and more flow in your life, but you're just so stuck in a myopic view. Like you need to expand your vision and see, oh, I'm trying to go this really challenging, energy burning way when there's totally like a lazy river this way. And I just need to let go of this old way of doing this. Those are just a few examples of maladaptive Virgo things that, again, Virgo is not a bad energy. It's just we end up getting stuck in habits and ways of being that just we outgrow. So that's what this time frame is about. All right, so let's get even more specifically into this chart reading. Again, new moon, eclipse, solar eclipse, opposite Saturn, meaning Saturn has a very strong flavor. Look at this little meme here for you in these next months and what's coming up. It is, in a way, a time to lock in. For real, for real. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some tenacity. Whatever you are undertaking right now and in the next 6 months, even longer maybe, it's going to take some grit. A new moon represents possibility. It's the fertile soil where things get planted. So it being opposing Saturn, it's like we have this possibility that's beautiful, right? And just looking right across from us is Saturn staring us down like, hey, but remember, you got a job to do. You have responsibilities. You have limitations. So it's just kind of like Saturn's on our ass a little bit, but that doesn't mean the possibility itself is Saturnian. That could be something completely opposite or something different. But there is this quality of Saturn here. The next really strong aspect in this chart, and it's within 1 degree exact, just like the Saturn opposition. So it's very potent. We have Venus square Uranus. Venus is in Virgo, Uranus is in Gemini. And this aspect to me is screaming relational breakdowns and breakthroughs, relational upgrades, sudden changes in relationships, likely connected to some challenges just since Saturn's in this chart too. So this could be like our closest relationships, this happening. This could be just how we go about our relationships. And because it's a square, it is showing that the two planets are having issues coexisting. There's almost not enough room in town for the two of us. You know what I'm saying? So maybe one person in the relationship is really wanting to grow and expand and upgrade, and the other person is like, I don't know, pointing out the negatives and being critical and whatever else. Maybe one person in the relationship is changing too fast. They're really awakening in who they are as a person and what they want to do in life, and that's scary for the other person. Venus can also represent money and pleasures in life. So maybe some big changes in that arena. How you're making money is breaking down so it can break through. You may have an aha moment in how you go about your money matters. But it's not a smooth, okay, I had my aha and now this is what I'm supposed to do now. No, there's a challenge here. The square represents some kind of, not blockage per se, but something that's really having to motivate us. It's a little sticky, it's a little rocky, it's, a little crunchy. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is not a comfy time. This is a getting comfortable with being uncomfortable time. I'm inserting another meme here because memes are important. They're helpful. Another indicator in the chart that we're at our breaking point, just kidding, but on the fence, teeter-tottering on, I'm in this in-between place. I'm ready to go, but I also have stuff holding me back. We have Mars at 29 degrees Libra. Libra represents relationships out of all the 12 signs. Libra represents harmony, our overall social, mental, connective life with other people. There's this 29 degrees is the last degree, so it's like this ending, but we're not quite in that forward place yet. We're tying up these loose ends. So it's a little uncomfortable to be Mars at 29 degrees. Mars wants to fight and initiate and go. And it's in this spot that's not not doing that. Mars is also in its detriment in the sign of Libra. Mars is the planet of war, and Libra is the sign of harmony and let's get along and let's collaborate. So Mars is not in its home sign. It's opposite its home sign, one of its home signs. So we're all feeling this on some level around the time of this eclipse, and also thematically within these next months. This Mars is also, as soon as it moves signs and goes into Scorpio, is going to enter a square with Pluto, which is gnarly. It's one of the most violent and tumultuous aspects between two planets. We're also feeling this. We're like, okay, I'm in this stuck in between place, and it looks like the future is gonna be pretty darn confronting. I just thought of the moment when, you know, you've partied hard, you end up at some dude's house, and you only have your party clothes, and it's time for your walk of shame home. You're in college. It's like that. It's like, okay, I literally don't have any other clothes. I have smeared makeup all over my face. I have to go out there, and I have to go home. And once you're home, it's gonna be fine. But you have that moment, like you're about to do your walk of shame. Silly example, but that's what I thought of. Mercury is also in the sign of Libra, and it's in a loose trine with Uranus. So I think there is going to be a very conversational and mental element in the coming months. A lot of talks, a lot of negotiation, a lot of deliberation. And the last thing I want to point out about this Virgo solar eclipse chart is Saturn has just retrograded back into Pisces. It will be in the sign of Pisces going into next year, so the whole end of this year. And Uranus is about to retrograde back into Taurus, which was a sign that it was in for a long time as well. So between that and the 29-degree energy of this eclipse in general, there is this element of tying up loose ends. We have to revisit the past a little bit in order to move forward. It's not quite time to jump into a new reality. Like, this is a closing of a lot of chapters. That in itself is inherently less comfortable. Like, we can see a future, we're ready to move forward, but it's not quite time. So that concludes our solar eclipse reading. Now we're going to get into the fall equinox and just a little bit more detail about the next 3 months. This is my last and final meme, I promise. I just think it's fun. The previous chart was the bigger context of what's going on. This is dialed in a bit more to the next 3 months, so try on both at the same time. This is the more immediate future and what's coming down the pipe. I am so sorry for this imagery, but this is what this is to me. This is a time where we are going to be popping the metaphorical pimple. It's going to come up, it's going to be gnarly, it's going to be on our face, and it's going to be one of those more difficult cystic pimples to actually pop. It's going to take a little bit of struggle, and it's probably not going to be cute for a couple days. The sun, as it's entering its fall in Libra, it's beginning the fall equinox, is immediately going into a trine with Pluto and Aquarius. And that in itself it's going to cause things to come up from under the surface. What's irritating it is there's also a Mars square to the same Pluto. So it's adding fuel to the fire, and it's rubbing the wrong way. Pluto is the planet of transformation, the planet of crisis that brings about transformation. It pulls things up from the murky underworlds to be dealt with, to be looked at. So we're going to be teeter-tottering a little bit in between the underworlds and back going into this fall. On a positive, Pluto creates permanent transformation. So whatever's coming up, it's gonna be changed. It's gonna reach its transformation. This same Pluto is in a trine to Uranus at the same time. There's a grand trine, actually. A grand air trine between Sun, Pluto, Uranus. Things are coming up in conversation. A lot's changing. A lot is changing. And since it's all air signs, a lot's changing on the mental plane, our mindset, our conversations. Collectively, it seems there's going to be a lot changing with our technology. I'm not getting the best feeling about it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Some of it's going to be innovative and great, and some of it's going to be for the systems of control to get even more control, that kind of thing. In the eclipse reading, I talked about the Venus-Uranus square. I think this is the part in those relational breakdowns and breakthroughs that we're going to have more of the death process so that there can be a rebirth. That is what Pluto represents, and it's very strong in this chart. This doesn't mean the relationship has to end, it's just a way the relationship has been going. The old relationship will need to end in order to create the new relationship. And a lot of it's going to bubble up to the surface pretty promptly. These next couple months are really going to ask of us to put in the work, surrendering, to lean in to something bigger than you, something bigger than your myopic view. A big part of this Saturnian work may be riding these waves and just making it through this experience. And guess what? The work will bring rewards, but you gotta stick with it. You gotta stay devoted. You gotta stay on the path in order to get to the finish line, to get the reward. Another interesting thing in this chart is the Sun entering Libra is going directly into an opposition with Neptune. Neptune makes things murkier, less clear, hazier, more dreamlike. It's not bringing clarity in the way we might like it. Intuition and dreams are probably going to be big players in our personal stories. Things are going to be coming up in our dreams. We'll be getting downloads, we'll be getting intuitions, and it'll just come out of nowhere. It'll just become visible to us or felt by us. And it's not the most clarifying thing. It's Neptune, but it is information and is part of the storyline of what's happening. Just when you think your secrets are safe, someone has a premonition in their dream, and bam, you're found out, bro. Hopefully that doesn't happen to most of us, but that's one thing that could happen. Neptune being in this mix, and it's aspecting Pluto too. It's aspecting the shadow world. So honestly, guys, take care of yourselves. Do what you need to do to stay grounded. I think in the collective, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be confronting. In your own life, it might get a little dramatic. If you can, enjoy it to the best of your ability. Eat some popcorn, watch the show. It will pass, and you will be transformed and reborn You just gotta go into that fire for a second and get a little hot. Get a little toasty. I really hate that I have more bad news, but Venus is in fall in Virgo, so the planet of relationships is not in her best place. So that's not helping the relational situation. I just have to say it, sorry. I don't want to, but yeah, it's there. It's in the chart. The one positive I see in this chart, besides the fact that we're going to be transformed and changed, and that's going to be great, the moon's next aspect in this chart is Jupiter. So it's making its way, it's journeying towards something a little bit more positive, maybe a blessing, a reward, something coming in, some good fortune. So I don't know, if you need something to help you move through this, just be waiting for your blessing on the other side. There is maybe some good news coming, some blessing, some opportunity. So just know that there's a new day tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you for watching this video. If you've gotten this far, please go ahead and like the video, leave a comment. I intend to do more new moon videos. I've been doing it in a private community, and part of this eclipse for me has been changing that. I'm no longer doing that private community for now, and I'm shifting towards being of service to people via YouTube and sharing on here. So if you're into that, please support, like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate you. Good luck. Good luck in this new venture. Here we go. Eventually I'll have a chart that's a little happier, but that day is not today, and that's why I inserted some memes, because we need a little bit of levity in these dark times. Hopefully not too dark, but yeah. Love you, bye.